Hello friends and welcome to Pendulum Video. Today we'll be discussing daily current affairs of 8 and 9 June. So let's start the session. Introduction of COVID-19 beep system for monitoring of patients with COVID-19. Recently, Jitendra Singh, Minister of Northeastern Region Development, has introduced the COVID beep system to monitor the patients of COVID-19. This is significant because it is the first indigenous system to monitor patients with COVID-19. And this system has been jointly developed by the Employees State Insurance Corporation Medical College Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Technology Hyderabad and Department of Atomic Energy. COVID beep will emerge as an effective antidote to the original COVID, and the latest version of COVID beep is also launched in ECG monitoring. Now let's see the question related to it. Recently, which indigenous system for monitoring of patients of COVID-19 has been introduced? COVID beep, COVID heat, COVID call and COVID node. So the correct answer is option A, that is COVID beep. Moving to the next news, June 7, World Food Security Day. So every year on 7 June, World Food Security Day is celebrated. The day is celebrated to attract global attention to contribute to food security, human health, economic prosperity, agriculture market access, tourism and sustainable development in preventing food risk. This year's theme is food safety, everyone's business. This year it is the second World Food Security Day. In 2019, the first Food Security Day was celebrated under the theme of the future of food safety. Now let's see the question. In which year the first World Food Security Day was celebrated? 2017, 2015, 2019 and 2012. So the correct answer is option C, that is in 2019 the first World Food Security Day was celebrated. Moving to the next news, National Chemical Laboratory Pune developed indigenous nasopharyngeal. Recently, the National Chemical Laboratory Pune, that is NCL, has successfully developed an indigenous nasopharyngeal to collect samples from the throat cavity of coronavirus affected patient. Nasopharyngeal swab is a medical device with stringent specifications of quality, polymer grade dimensions and disinfection. A team of Dr. Chandrasekhar V. Rode, Dr. Prakash P. Vadgaonkar and Dr. Anu A. Nisalatin have worked on nasopharyngeal swab polymers, and NCL, talking about NCL, it is a laboratory under the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, that is, it is a laboratory under CSIR. Now let's see the question. Recently, which institution has successfully developed an indigenous nasopharyngeal for specimen collection from the throat of coronavirus affected patients? NCL Pune, ICMR Delhi, ISC Bangalore and DRDO Delhi. So the correct answer is option A, that is NCL Pune, National Chemical Laboratories, which is a research laboratory of CSIR. Moving to the next news, ITBP opened nationwide health centers and hospitals for its veterans suffering from coronavirus. The ITBP, that is Indo-Tibetan Border Police, it has opened the doors of its nationwide health centers and hospitals to its veterans suffering from coronavirus, and the decision was taken after problems in admission or treatment of people in designated hospitals of COVID-19 that came across, and the ITBP runs a super specialty referral hospital for the CARPF in Greater Noida, two base hospitals in Tigri in Delhi and Kimin and Dehradun, and also in Arunachal Pradesh, and hospitals in Chandigarh beside health centers on every basis in the country. ITBP, what is ITBP? It is one of the 7 Central Armed Police Forces of India. It was created on 24th October 1962 under the CRPF Act in the wake of 1962 Sino-Indian War. Its headquarters is located in New Delhi and its current Director General is S.S. Deswal. So there may be a question related to ITBP, that who is the current Director General of ITBP? So it is S.S. Deswal. In which year the Indo-Tibetan Border Police was established? 1975, 1962, 1963 and 1987. So the correct answer is option B, that is 1962. Moving to the next news, former Delhi Police Commissioner Ved Marwa passed away and he was 87 years old. He was an outstanding civil servant and a qualified administrator. He also served as the Governor of Manipur, Mizoram and Jharkhand. Uncivil War, Pathology of Terrorism in India is a book written by him, and President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have expressed grief over his demise. So he was a very famous personality. So a question can be asked from this section, like who is the author of book Uncivil Wars, Pathology of Terrorism in India. So Shashi Tharoor, Ved Marwa, S. Jaishankar and Manmohan Singh. So the correct answer is option B, that is Ved Marwa. Moving to the next news, former Indian footballer Hamza Koya passed away, and recently former Indian footballer Hamza Koya has died in Kerala due to COVID-19. He was 61 years old and he represented Maharashtra in the Santosh Trophy. He was also a member of India team in the Nehru Trophy. Recently, Hamza Koya has died in Kerala from COVID-19. He is related to which sport? Football, hockey, cricket and basketball. So the correct answer is option A, that is football. Moving to the next news, OPEC proposes 10 million barrels per day cut in oil production by the end of July. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, and affiliated countries have agreed to cut production of about 10 million barrels of oil a day by the end of July, and the decision has been taken in the wake of COVID-19, due to which there is a significant decrease in the world oil prices, and the countries are hoping that by reducing the production of this oil by 10 million barrels of a day will lead to some increase in energy prices. So, talking about OPEC, it is an intergovernmental organization of petroleum exporting countries, and it was founded on 14 September 1916 in Baghdad. Its headquarters are located in Vienna, Austria, and after Kuwait renounced its membership on 1st January 2019, now there are only 13 members left in the organization. That is, if the question is asked that how many members are there in OPEC, so 13 members are there. Now, moving to the question part. Which country resigned OPEC membership on 1st January 2019? India, Kuwait, Venezuela and Iran. So the correct answer is option B, that is Kuwait. Moving to the next news, India will host 2022 AFC Women's Asian Cup. The Confederation of Asian Football conferred on India the hosting rights for 2022 Asian Women Cup for the first time since 1979, and the decision was taken at the AFC Women's Football Committee meeting. Talking about AFC Women's Asia Cup, so it is the premier women's football championship or competition in the Asian region for various national teams, which is organized by the Asian Football Confederation, and this cup was founded in 1975, and total of 12 teams participate in this Asian Cup. Now the question part, which country will host the 2022 AFC Women's Asian Cup? India, China, Vietnam and Japan. So the correct answer is option A, that is India. Moving to the next news, Mubadala of Abu Dhabi bought 1.85% stake in the Jio for rupees 9,093.6 crore. Recently, Abu Dhabi-based sovereign investor Mubadala company, he bought 1.85% stake in the Jio for rupees 9,093.60 crore. With this disinvestment, Jio has raised 87,655.35 crore from major global technology and development investors within 6 weeks. And talking about Mubadala Investment Company, it is an innovating and investing worldwide to transform the UAE's economy. It was founded in 2002. So now the question part, Mubadala has recently bought 1.85% stake in Jio. Where is the headquarters of this company located? Doha, New York, Abu Dhabi and Rome. So the correct answer is option C, that is Abu Dhabi. Moving to the next news, 8 June World Oceans Day. So every year on 8 June World Ocean Day is celebrated, and the concept was proposed by Canada's International Centre for Ocean Development at the UN's Environment and Development 1992 Earth Conference in Brazil. So basically this day is celebrated to recognize the importance of ocean, not only for human being but also for the biodiversity as a whole. And the theme of World Ocean Day 2020 is Innovation for a Sustainable Ocean. Moving to the question part, on which day World Ocean Day is celebrated every year? 5 June, 8 June, 1st June and 2nd June. So the correct answer is option B, that is it is celebrated every year on 8 June. Moving to the next news, Western Coalfields opened 3 new coal mines. Recently, Coal India subsidiary Western Coalfields Limited, it has opened 3 new coal mines, and these 3 mines are located in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. One mine is located in Adasa, which is Adasa mine in Nagpur region of Maharashtra. It is an underground open mine, and Sharda underground mine in Kanhan region of Madhya Pradesh, and Dhankasa underground mine in Pench region of Madhya Pradesh, with a combined annual production capacity of 2.9 million tons have been opened. And on this occasion, the company has launched a monitoring system called WCL-I to monitor its mining operation. Along with this, the company also launched an app called Samvad to connect with its employees and stakeholders. WCL has launched a roadmap called Mission 100 Days to achieve the goals of financial year 2020-21. This mission will also help the company achieve its medium-term and long-term goals. These three mines are a part of WCL's future plan to start 20 new projects by the year 2023-24, out of which 14 projects will be commissioned in Maharashtra and 6 will be commissioned in Madhya Pradesh. The total cost on these projects is 12,753 crore and it is expected to create more than 14,000 direct jobs. Now let's see the question. Western Coalfields Limited, a subsidiary of Coal India, has opened 3 new coal mines in which state? Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and both A and C. So the correct answer is option D, that is both A and C. The 3 mines which have been opened, one is in Maharashtra and two are in Madhya Pradesh. So the correct answer is option D. Moving to the next news, new orientation for a reformed multilateral system of India at UN Security Council. For a new term in the UN Security Council, India has adopted a new orientation approach to a reformed multilateral system, which is also called NORMS, NORMS. And this vision of India will be guided by the principle of Samman, Samvad, Sahyog, Shanti and Samriddhi. Foreign Minister Dr. S. J. Shankar has stated this overall objective of India during his new term in the UN Security Council. He said that this while outlining India's priorities for his forthcoming campaign to secure an elected seat on the UN Security Council. Talking about UN Security Council, its election are to be held on 17 June 2020 and this will be India's 8th term in the UN Security Council, which will start from January next year. Talking about UN Security Council, so there are total 15 member countries in UN Security Council. 5 are permanent and 10 are non-permanent members which are elected, and it is one of the 6 major organs of the United Nations which is responsible for ensuring international peace and security. Its headquarters are located in New York, United States, and it was established on 24 October 1945. And UN Security Council is very much in news because many countries like India, Brazil, and they are supporting that the permanent members, there are only 5, so that should be expanded. The number of permanent members in the UN Security Council should be expanded so that other countries also have an equal say in the UN for ensuring international peace and security. So this is important. A question can be definitely asked from UN Security Council. Now let's see the question. What is true about the UN Security Council? It is one of the 6 major organs of the United Nations. Its headquarters is located in New York. It was established on 24 October 1945 and all the statements are correct. So the correct answer is option D, that is all the above 3 statements are true about the UN Security Council. So friends, here we have comprehensively covered daily current affairs and related questions. You can also visit our website pendulumedu.com and read complete current affairs, and also you can download the PDF, and also you can attempt quizzes, daily current affair quiz, banking awareness quiz and other exam related quizzes which will be very helpful for you all. And I hope you are following this daily current affairs session. So if you like this video, like it, share it as much as you can. If you have any doubt or have anything in your mind, just mention it in the comment box, and subscribe to our channel Pendulum Edu, and do not forget to press the bell icon to receive notifications. Keep preparing with us. Thank you so much.